Australia's share of the Japanese beef market has reduced. Increased competition from the US, Canada, New Zealand and Mexico are largely to blame. But we caught up with Austrade Commissioner Mari Spence, who told us earlier from Tokyo that Australian beef remains highly sought after still. Mari, we've got you from Japan. Can you tell us a bit about the market there? What's driving demand?
Well, it's a pleasure to join you today. Thank you for coming to the Australian Embassy here in Tokyo. My name is Mari Spence and I'm a Trade and Investment Commissioner with Austrade, which is the Australia Trade and Investment Commission. So the sectors I cover here are agribusiness and food, consumer products and tourism. But today we're here to talk about beef. Before we do that, however, let me introduce Austrade to you. So Austrade is a federal organisation that has two very clear goals. Our first is to increase the export of goods and services from Australia globally. And the second is to increase foreign direct investment into Australia. So this is basically attracting capital into Australia so that we can build big projects and our economy can develop. If you think of increasing exports and increasing investment, of course that has the effect of increasing employment opportunities and growing our economy, and that's our key role.
Are the Japanese consumers interested in particular cuts of beef?
Well, the most popular cuts for Australian beef into Japan is brisket. It's about 9.5% of what we export. Then we've got silverside or outside, that's 7.1%. And then next we've got blade and topside or inside, which is about 5% each. And there's also a strong demand here for actual offcuts as well. But actually 46% of the beef that comes into Japan comes in as mince, and it's used for manufacturing of other food products. If we look at the balance of meat type, 46% of what's sent to Japan is grass-fed and 54% is grain-fed. And then the chilled to frozen ratio is 40% delivered chilled, 60% delivered frozen.
And how are they receiving their Australian meat?
Well, beef and steak in Japan are somewhat of an indulgence rather than an everyday protein because the diet here is basically fish. If you go to buy a steak at the supermarket, you'll find that they're individually wrapped and packed rather than a group of four, because families here will buy one steak and share it amongst themselves. So it's not consumed en masse, so to speak.
Are there any seasonal or behavioural trends that you're seeing with the Japanese?
There's no specific seasonality here, although in summer, of course, there is a slight uptake as people enjoy barbecues, and we actually saw that during COVID because, of course, people wanted to be outside and socialise where it was safe. And so there was an increase in the number of barbecue sites in and around Tokyo, particularly around the Bay.
And what should Australian producers know in order to stay competitive in that market?
The key to the Japanese market and maintaining your competitive edge is just consistency. Suppliers should ensure that they are delivering the product they said they would deliver, in the condition they said they would deliver it, at the price they said they would deliver it, in the time frame they said that they would deliver it. So that's it. That's just consistency is key. Japanese customers don't appreciate surprises. So if there is some problem in your operation, give them advance notice. At the moment, the beef market is getting more and more competitive due to the currently weak yen. So I'm sure that our suppliers at home will be getting requests for maybe cheaper pricing, cheaper supply pricing, or even cheaper cuts. But I guess if we look at the whole topic of maintaining competitive advantage, it's about keeping Australia disease-free.
And can you tell us about the state of our trade agreements?
Australia's key trade agreement with Japan is JPA, the Japan-Australia Economic Partnership Agreement. This was signed in 2015. And with the signing of this, the tariff on beef exports from Australia to Japan fell from 38.5% to 32.5%. Currently, it continues to decrease, and currently it's at 26.4%. However, this has now been surpassed because Japan has entered many other free trade agreements with other countries, and the one we are focused on now is CPTPP. So under this CPTPP, the tariff on chilled and frozen beef is 23.1% from 1st of April last year, so a year ago. This will drop to 9% as of April 2033, so it's a way to go. It sounds good for Australia, but actually there are other co-signatories to CPTPP, including, of course, the States. We have New Zealand, we have Canada, and we have Mexico, all of whom are exporting to Japan. So what this really means is that it's a level playing field. There's no tariff advantage Australia has over other major beef exporters. And this has been reflected in our loss in the market. Actually, our market share in Japan has decreased from 51.3% in 2018 down to 40.1% in 2021. And as I said, this is because of the increased competition and also a bit of herd rebuilding by Australian farmers onshore. But the reality remains, we've been in market a long time. Australian beef is highly sought after, highly respected, and it's the clean and safe image that everyone knows and that everyone is willing to pay for.
And finally, Mari, what should our industry know here about how to do business in Japan in 2024?
Well, Japan is a relationship market. This is foremost important because it's not a transactional one. Customers here, your importers will be thinking they're building a business with you. It's not just you supplying beef and them hauling it off. They want to work together with you. So they will have certain expectations and you need to meet them. I've already talked about consistency. So that consistency of product, price, delivery, time frame and condition. I've also mentioned avoiding surprises because they don't appreciate them. So just meet their expectations and respond in a quick way. For those looking to enter the market, because it's mature and it's highly competitive, know what differentiates your product. You know, what is your unique sales proposition? It could be being organic production, it could be sustainable production methods. Just have some point of differentiation. And I guess 2 final thoughts. Come visit the market, come visit your customers, come do a market walk, see what the conditions are here in the retail sector, eat at a restaurant, see the expectations, really understand the market and also build the relationship with your customers. And then the final point, invite your importer or invite your customer to Australia. Invite them to your facility, give them a tour around, give them peace of mind that you are going to be a consistent, dependable partner for them going forward, and just deliver on what you promise.
Mari Spence in Tokyo, thanks for joining Beef TV today.